Good afternoon. We are members of Group 10 and we'll be taking you through a presentation today. Before we go on, I would like to introduce my group members who are Parika Gansham, Tilawati Prasad, Amrita Puran, Gomati Ramnath, Arjun Shivdat, Joy Dihan. Our task this afternoon is to look at the teacher training and professional development. The first question is um, assess the extension to which teachers' education programs address equality and inclusion in TVET. Our second question is recommend training strategies for nursery, primary, and secondary school teachers. Introduction. Inclusive education means making sure every student gets a fair chance to learn, no matter where the background or ability is, or even where they live. In Guyana, there is a strong effort to make TVET, technical and vocational education and training, more inclusive. This means helping all students, including those with disability and those from far away, take part in learning. Training teacher properly is also a key role in making education inclusive. Teachers need to learn how to support all kinds of learners in the classroom. This includes using different teaching methods, special tools, and being kind and patient with students who may learn differently. This assignment looks at how teacher training in Guyana is changing to support inclusive education. It focuses on what is being done at places like the Sirpat College of Education, our teacher training college. It also talks about government plans which is for helping groups like UNESCO and the good things and challenges in teacher training today. By training teachers to be inclusive, Guyana is helping to build a better future where every children have a chance to learn and grow.
Effectively integrate equality and inclusion into the delivery and access to TVET education in Guyana from nursery to secondary level. A strong focus must be placed on teachers training, particularly in areas of teaching inclusive methods and training educators on equality and inclusion. Teaching inclusive method begins with embedding inclusive pedagogy into pre-service teachers' education programs. At institutions like the Sirpotter College of Education (CPC), it is already underway with the introduction of update programs that include special education needs and disability (SCND), literacy, and health and family life education. These programs are designed to ensure that all future educators are equipped to handle diverse classrooms by using differentiated instruction, universal design of learning (UDL) as assistive technology. Collaborating between CPC and technical institutes like the Guyana Technical Institute are also centered to this effect. The aim is to ensure that technology and pedagogy competence go hand in hand, enable teachers to effectively deliver both academic and vocational content in inclusive way. The integrating of culture representative leadership and integrating practice to ensure by UNESCO big educators reform ensure that future educators are trained to recognize and respond to the varied cultural, social, and learning needs of their students. The 2008 to 2013 Education Strategy Plan identifies the development of more inclusive education system in Guyana as a priority, emphasizing need to provide equality and quality opportunity to indigenous children. Children from the hinterland region are those with disability while also integrating gender equalities in Guyana. Guyana understands how important it is for teachers to know how to include all students, especially those with special needs, into the classroom. To support this law, the 2010 Person with Disability Act says that teachers' training program must include special education. This means that all teachers should learn how to support students with different learning needs. However, a report from the 2008 to 2013 education plan shows that less than 40% of teachers in special education schools have properly trained. To fix this, the Ministry of Education a group called NCERD, which have been working to train more teachers, offering workshops for training sessions to help teachers make their classroom more inclusive. They also have special education need units that help create better teaching methods and support school. In 2018, for example, the ministry held a training in the Essequibo Island West Demerara region to help teachers learn how to include students with special needs in regular classroom. The effects shows that Guyana is working to make its education system more inclusive by giving teachers the training they need.
To the last presenter. My name is Telwati Pasad and I'll be taking you through the pedagogical reforms and how we can make TVET more inclusive. Our first point, culturally responsive and inclusive teaching. Guyana's TVET promotes inclusion by showcasing diverse career options and encouraging participation from women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Programs focus on practical skills relevant to local communities. Our next point, modernized teacher training and professional development. Teacher training is enhanced through partnership with institutions like Siripata College of Education, using online, blended, and in-person methods to reach educators nationwide, including remote areas. Training also incorporates digital tools to support diverse learners. Next point, gender and disability inclusion. National efforts promote gender parity and disability inclusion through workshops, data review, inclusive curricula, and supportive environments to ensure all students succeed in education and workforce transition. Another point to make, flexible pathways and lifelong learning. TVET reforms include shorter courses, multiple entry and exit points, and second chance programs to accommodate diverse learners and reduce dropout rates. Technology and distance education is our last point for the pedagogical reform, and this includes technologies such as online platforms and interactive radio improves access to quality TVET, especially for students in remote and underserved areas, thus promoting equity. Now let's look at the policy integration that would allow for a smooth transition of TVET into all aspects of education. The first policy that we have is Comprehensive National TVET Policy, and this is for a period from 2025 to 2035. This includes Guyana's new TVET policy promotes inclusive skills development aligned with global goals. This is not only shown in Guyana, but these are goals that are made and that can be evidenced around the world. Thus, Guyana adopted some of these goals, ensuring equitable access for women, persons with disability, indigenous, and hinterland communities. This caters for all-round aspect of the Guyanese community, and it is not gender biased. Our next policy is governance and coordination. The Autonomous Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, which is also known as CTVET, improves coordination among stakeholders, embedding equity and inclusion in TVET governance. Another policy to note is access and infrastructure. With this policy calls for expanding and upgrading TVET facilities, those that are already in existence across regions, ensuring disability, accessibility, and encouraging gender diversity in all trades to meet economical needs. Several provisions are made to ensure and encourage gender participation in all trades and to expand training options that reflect the needs of Guyana's rapidly changing economy. Another policy to note is the quality assurance and industry linkage. Strengthen accreditation and sector partnership guaranteed recognized qualifications and relevant training and support inclusive employment and entrepreneurship. Now, persons who have undergone TVET training, such policy would ensure that they have the recognized and adequate qualifications that would help them to have a job, not just training to have the skills without any qualification to show that they have the skills and they cannot have a job without skills. The last policy we would like to discuss is community and stakeholder engagement. Initiatives fosters awareness, community input, and collaboration with industry and civil society to make TVET responsive to the needs of all, especially marginalized groups.
We'll now move on to question number 2, which is recommendation for inclusive and equitable TVET training strategies across education levels and their gaps and strengths in teacher education program addressing equality and inclusion in TVET. Inclusive and equitable TVET. Why inclusive TVET matters? It matters because it empowers marginalized learners. It promotes equality and sustainable development. It also ensures participation across all education levels. TVET is mostly done in presently at the technical training center, but by inclusion in the nursery, secondary, and primary level would be very sustainable development. Will be a very sustainable development. So 4 keys principle for inclusive TVET. First key is equitable access, which focus on flexible entry points and recognition of prior learning. The second key principle is diverse delivery, which focus on cultural, responsive, and learner-centered approaches. The third key point is operational partnership. It focuses on collaboration with stakeholders. The fourth key point is outcomes to decent work, which focusing on employability for all learners. Above mentioned so far with TVET, here are some global examples of good practice. In Ethiopia, the TECIP project integrates inclusive pedagogy into teachers' education, which we presently see in Guyana right now, especially in the early childhood education and the primary and secondary education, where they're focusing on pedagogical pedagogy, where we use pedagogy to bring out our lesson, even if it's a computer or a projector or something. In Finland, emphasizes UDL, co-teaching collaboration between general and special educators. In Ghana and Lasso, use an inclusive education handbook and community-based training. Like everything, there are challenges that follows. However, these challenges can be overstepped or overcome by normal common practices. Some current challenges are lack of training TVET staff inclusive practices. More staff need to be trained to facilitate these projects or teaching. Second point, insufficient accessibility to infrastructure and curricula. Third point, fragmented and underfunding training programs. With TVET, some of the TVET programs need a lot of fundings, and these might be one of the major challenges when it comes to these TVET program, which is funding it. Fourth point, few national policies mandate inclusive teacher training or strengthening inclusion. It is important to embed uh, inclusive education into national TVET policies, which is very important. Second point, allocate resource for teacher training and infrastructure. Third point, integrate inclusive pedagogy into all teacher education program, which is seen being done to some extent in the nursery, primary, and secondary education level. Fourth point, use mentorship and peer learning to support educators. Fifth point, track learner outcome by gender, disability, and socioeconomic status. Inclusive TVET is a continuous process requiring reflection, collaboration, and systematic reform to drive equality, reliance, and lifelong learning. Curriculum design and community involvement. The curriculum design and community involvement plays a crucial role in an inclusive setting and access of technical education and training. As inclusion is talked to show the curriculum should be structured in such a way to create for every learner's need. The curriculum calls for more diversity to cater for the needs, interests, and ability of all learners. Teaching children a technical and vocational skill start from early years in nursery um, school in fun and meaningful ways. Some common skills are cutting, pasting, and so on. When entering the primary school, children continue engaging in such activity in um, more challenging ways. At secondary school, the curriculum should have a variety of learning opportunity for our children so they will be able to choose from matching their career goals. At secondary level, the curriculum should also move away from traditional way like to focus in the classroom. In this way, boys and girls should have equal opportunities and it will be gender balance. Also, the community also support learnings in meaningful ways. When school have good relationships with outside links, it builds a solid foundation for our learners. School can have open day training session or workshop for parents and community members, so they can participate to um, develop an understanding of TVET. Also, job fair can also be held to involve our children and give them real life experience and make connection.
TVET in the context of Guyana requires more inclusive nature as it is both more imperative and a strategic development goal. The inclusion of inclusive pedagogies, CPC, NCRD, and at mainstream education level is significant advancement toward equity, as in particular presented to learners with disabilities, hinterland learners, and other vulnerable populations. But having said that, gaps are enormous, and particularly in the consistency of teacher preparation and infrastructure support. The new framework and global partnership between 2025 and 2025 for TVET indicate a strong intent to make technical education a vehicle for social and economic upliftment. Pedagogical reform emphasizing universal design for learning, cultural sensitivity, gender parity,
and lifelong learning are essential to make classroom more inclusive. Moreover, diversification of curricula and integration into society also increase the relevance and accessibility of TVET provision. In the future, ongoing investment in teacher training, evidence-based policy making, and intersectoral cooperation will be required to further strengthen the inclusivity of Guyana education system. Inclusive debate is not a goal but a dynamic process that must constantly be built up to serve the changing needs of all learners. By incorporating such principles into all levels of education, Guyana reiterates its promise of equitable development and empowers all its citizens to unlock their maximum potential to succeed in the unfolding rapid world.
Here is a list of our reference. We are now open for questions and further discussion.